Good morning, students. Please enter your roll number in chat box. Those are not entered yet, because I can see 76 participants. Okay. Let us start with today's session. As we were discussing in last lecture, क्या डिस्कस किया था लास्ट लेक्चर में? पार्थवी, which topic we have covered in last lecture? Unmute yourself and answer. Parthvi is there.
Hello, sir.
Parthvi. Which topic we have
Sir,
covered?
last time we have covered structural mapping, in which we have covered the planning and design, then disaster safe design, risk mapping, assessing, then early warning systems were covered, sir.
Yes. So there are 6 different ways of structural mapping, which we have covered in last lecture. This lecture will focus on what is non-structural mitigation, and what are the techniques or practices by which you can go for non-structural mitigation. Structural mitigation, it is directly related to planning and design of structure. Non-structural mitigation will focus on how to spread awareness, training, education regarding particular hazard and disaster, which will help in mitigation of that particular disaster. Structural mapping, we have discussed about planning and design of infrastructure, disaster safe design and its construction. Important point, that is risk mapping, assessment and analysis, and construction of seawalls, embankments, bioshield shelters, etc. and early warning systems. Also using of risk time charts to plan for the future. Non-structural mapping, okay, in non-structural mitigation of disaster, these are the policies and practices. Non-structural activities or mitigation are nothing but policies and practices which are useful in creating awareness of hazards or encourage developments in the society, and this also help to reduce the impact of disaster.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Sir, are you presenting something?
No, no, not yet started
Okay.
presenting.
Okay. Okay.
So the main difference, if someone asks you what is the difference between structural mitigation and non-structural mitigation, the structural mitigation is concerned with construction projects, that is infrastructural projects, which help in reducing economic and social impacts. तो ये याद रखो. Structural mitigation is only concerned with construction projects, or you can say with infrastructural projects, which help in reducing economic and social impact. And in non-structural mitigation, these are the activities, policies, and practices which are useful in creating awareness of hazard or encourage developments with capacity building, you can say, in the society, and this will also help to reduce the impact of that particular hazard. Now, the reconstruction of severely damaged physical infrastructure and restoration of all services and local infrastructure. Or generally, because of disaster, economy is also gets affected, and the construction of permanent structures or is likely to change gradually in its phase, including agriculture also. So whenever we go for reconstruction, because of severely damaged structure, it is possible that in coming future, सूरज क्या बता रहा है स्ट्रक्चरल. When we go for reconstruction of severely damaged, for example, you can take collapse of building, or because of flooding, agriculture get disturbed. There are chances that we will go for permanent or complete change in the actual existing structure. Thus, fully taking into account the risks of future disaster reconstruction, and it is necessary to integrate the current long-term development plan with the help of structural engineering guidelines, or you can say standard IS codes at the time of reconstruction, as well as the gathering of appropriate mitigation measures. Must carefully consider the possibility that they will reduce your risk, because we are talking about pre-disaster. In pre-disaster, while going for reconstruction or planning also, we have to see that long-term planning or long-term development, you can take example of infrastructural developments that for long term, around 100 years. Metro lines, Bandra Worli Ceiling project, then coastal line projects. These all projects are for long-term projects, long-term development of your city. This you take into account all the mitigation measures. Otherwise, whatever investment we are doing in such type of big projects will be of waste, because we have to then go for reconstruction if any type of damage happens. The damaged structures and services may not necessarily be restored in their previous forms or locations. It is not necessary कि वो same वैसे ही condition में वापस आएगा or at the same locality. Because of landslides or earthquake, if the ground gets disturbed, then it is not necessary or it is not permitted to construct same type of structure over the same land. You can take example of 9/11 twin towers in United States. It is not possible to construct same towers again till now because it required huge amount of investment. So you have to see economic factor as well. It may include the replacement of any temporary agreements established as a part of the emergency response or rehabilitation. Under conditions of conflict, however, rehabilitation and reconstruction may not be feasible. Many a times it happens, as we all know, because of change in policies, many cases are pending and this will affect infrastructural development. You can take example of RA Karshed also, Metro RA Karshed. It is also not yet started because of conflicts. For obvious reasons of safety and security, activities in rehabilitation and reconstruction may need to wait until peace allow them. This is very important. Structural failure हुआ है and within a week वहाँ पे वापस reconstruction start हो गया. It is not possible because we have to go for analysis, assessment, then planning, designing. We have to consider all the factors, have to clear all the papers from government. Then you have to see for the investment and उसके बाद फिर reconstruction phase will start. It will take a lot time. The process of rehabilitation in the process of rehabilitation includes actions required to take immediately after a disaster to provide services to continue day-to-day life with basic requirements. And in this, we can take example of local train bomb blast or collapse of overhead bridge near Andheri or the flooding situations happening in rainy seasons. So in this process, we have to provide some immediate relief or immediate actions so that the services will continue day-to-day life with the basic requirements. Many times, this also happens that we have to start that particular services as soon as possible, whereas sometimes we require more time for proper planning and rehabilitation. Now, this rehabilitation also focus on helping victims in their self-help efforts to repair and facilitates the community and to facilitate the revival of economic activities, which also includes agriculture. Sometimes we require the help of locals who are affected because of that particular disaster so that they should self-help themselves to repair the damage, community facilities, and to facilitate the revival of economic activities as well. In the rehabilitation, it focuses on life of more or less common victims to bring them back to the pre-disaster patterns. And rehabilitation may also be considered as transformation stage between immediate relief and long-term reconstruction, and follow-up of continuing development. While going for rehabilitation and reconstruction, we have to see that the victims will return to their pre-disaster life or pattern as soon as possible. You can take example of current situation. Now we are moving towards unlocking our country so that the life will get to the more or less back on track. That is for pre-COVID situation. This is not possible yet, but we are trying for it. Rehabilitation may also be considered as transformation stage between immediate relief and long-term reconstruction. So immediate relief has been provided for over the 6 months, and now we are planning for long-term reconstruction. So we have to use mask and sanitizer. The hashtag you have seen. That is, this is new common, new life of, you can say, new habit we have to use nowadays. That is wearing masks and using sanitizers. Why we have discussed this? Because in reconstruction and rehabilitation, for that we have to use non-structural mitigation measures. I will start presenting now. This situation is the best example. As we all know, we cannot live the same life we are living before till the vaccination arrives. There is a change in our day-to-day life pattern because of such situations. So any disaster happens, many times it is not easy to return to your normal life again. We have to follow some rules. Okay, is it visible? Yes. So non-structural mitigation, in which we start with community-based disaster preparedness. I will start with community-based disaster preparedness. What do you mean by community-based disaster preparedness? So in community or in society, each and every individual is responsible for mitigating a particular hazard or disaster. Individuals within communities who actually have suffered during the disaster have valuable information and resources to share on the probable causes and consequences of disaster. What happens whenever any type of hazard or disaster strikes? Each and everyone has their own stories or own experience, you can say. And that experience and information is very important while we prepare for the next time. For the reason, the individuals shall be given rights and obligations to participate in key discussion that affect their lives, and they shall be called upon to participate, prepare for, and respond to disaster. So whenever such type of disaster happens, we should organize, or we should invite each and every individual to share their information, resources, and experience about that particular event so that we can prepare proper list of hazardous situation or events happen, so that we'll be more prepared for such type of disaster in future to respond that particular disaster, because each and everyone has tried at their own level to deal with that particular situation. We can take their experience and the methods they have followed to overcome that particular hazard or disaster. That's the reason communication and discussion plays very important role. When you are planning for project also, you have to complete a particular project. So in team also, we go for first team discussion, because each and everyone has different mindsets and different ideas. So we have to discuss that together. At all levels, government shall provide appropriate mechanism and space for participation in all process of disaster preparedness and management, starting from local phase or local authorities, small communities, societies, to the higher level of government authorities. At each level, they should provide the platform where all can participate, or those who are having information and resources to share, to participate in the process of disaster preparedness and management, because those who have suffered from that particular hazard or disaster, they can only give you proper information and guidelines to prepare for such type of events. Then few of the disaster response are characterized as command and control structure, one that is top down and with logistics center approach. This results in lack of community participation, which in turn result in failure in meeting the appropriate and vital human needs. Because many a times what happen, government themselves or the authorities themselves plan the policies without taking any consideration from the victims, or you can say community, and because of that it will result in failure to meet the particular approach. Because needs of particular community may differ region to region, so we cannot apply the same policy or same method or same practices at every region or every level. This also leads to unnecessary increase in requirement for external resources and general dissatisfaction over performance despite the use of exceptional management measures. This is very important point. While going for non-structural mitigation, the participation of community base is very important while planning for policies and practices. For example, if you are planning for the bill for farmers, so we have to take into consideration their point of view, because they are farmers, they are suffering from such problems. तो जिनका प्रॉब्लम है उनको ही अगर तुम लोग कंसिडरेशन में नहीं लोगे, उनसे अगर डिस्कशन नहीं करोगे, then whatever your policies are there, whatever acceptation or exceptional management measures you are applying over there will not help mitigating. Then, on keeping these limitations in mind, the community-based disaster management approach will promote a bottom-up approach working according to the top-down approach to address the challenge and difficulties. Now, what is bottom-up and top-down? in bottom-up approach, that is from starting with root levels, by taking opinion from each and every individual in the particular community and then transferring that to the local authorities, and from local authorities it will transfer to the higher authorities. In that manner, actual approach should be for disaster mitigation, and it should go according to the top-down approach. In top-down approach, whatever policies are implemented by the government, central government, state government, will be implemented from government to the district level to the region level, to the local authorities to the each and every individual. So in same manner, we should use bottom-up approach in community-based disaster management, because this will help in actual reduction and to address the challenges and difficulties for that particular community and region. In order to make the disaster management effective, local communities must be supported into analyzing their hazardous conditions, their vulnerabilities, and capacities as they see themselves. Let them make their own assessment. And that's why the local authority plays important role. The people of the community are hit the hardest when the disaster strikes, as they are the one directly affected by it. They are, however, the first ones to come vulnerable to the effects of such hazardous events, and that's the reason they should be involved in preparedness practices and planning. Because whenever disaster comes, who will be more exposed and vulnerable? And nothing but the people in that particular community. So if they are the victims and vulnerable, so we should take their opinion while planning and mitigation. How to reduce it. And they, on the other hand, can also reduce the impact of disaster on their community. So this is the major thought behind community-based disaster management, where communities are put at the forefront. For the non-structural mapping, that is for designing policies and practices, this is the best method, or you can say this is the approach, that is community-based disaster management approach, is come into practice because they are the more vulnerable, and without any help from government agencies also, they reduce the impact of disaster on their own community by applying many measures. Due to community-based disaster management, people's capacity to respond to emergencies is increased because we are using local resources. They then become more powerful as they have more access and control over resources and basic social services. Because where we live, we have more knowledge upon land, resources, connectivity of networks of roads. So when we involve the people living in that particular community or region, automatically they will become more powerful as they have more access and control over the resources and basic social services. Using a community-based approach to managing disaster certainly has its advantages. With the help of CBDM, that is community-based disaster management, it is expected that communities will be strengthened to enable them undertake any program of development including disaster preparedness and mitigation. Because see, it is not necessary or it is difficult that government should reach to each and every community or root level. So when we involve the community only and we start planning and strengthening our capacities at the community level only by undertaking any program of development, it will help in disaster preparedness as well as for mitigation. I hope you are noting down its important point because a question may be asked in examination regarding the community based disaster management. Write a short note आ सकता है, write a short note on community based disaster management. What is the approach of community based disaster management? Or what is the importance or advantages of community based disaster management? Questions बन सकते हैं इसके ऊपर. So the community based disaster management approach is highly practical approach. You see, and as it gives the local communities an opportunity to evaluate their own situation based on their own experience initially. So we are talking about the advantages now. It is a highly practical approach because common sense that if you are facing any problem and you are given the opportunity to deal with that particular problem and you are given the authorities, so it will give you more opportunity to evaluate your own situation based on your own experience initially. So you will be prepared for yourself and for your community in better manner. Under CBDM approach, the local community takes part in creating plan, decision making, and becomes a major part in its implementation. So community not only take a part in creating plan, but also in decision making, and they will become a major part in its implementation as well. Because that particular policy, whichever is made, it is made by themselves for themselves only. So it will be easy to implement that particular policies. Now you can take example of many societies nowadays after the outbreak of this pandemic situation. They have certain rules that nobody from outside will allow to their society. Or whenever you are going out and coming back, you should check your oxygen level or temperature and note it down. So these are the decisions taken by the particular society. All the members have agreed, then and only they can implement it easily. Otherwise, there will be conflict. If the secretary approves and he said, no, though we have to follow this, then there will be conflict. But when you take everyone in confidence and then plan and implement such type of rules or policies, then it is easy to implement it because each and everyone will follow it as they are the part of policy making. In CBDM, does not ignore the importance of scientific and objective risk, although the community is given greater roles in the decision making and implementation process. So at the same time, while community is making decision and implementing process, we also support them use scientific and objective manners as well from the knowledgeable persons who have worked in that particular environment and disaster management for that particular hazard. They will support them and take active participation in decision making and implementing process. Amongst the many advantages of an effective prevention strategy, one is that along with saving financial loss, it will also save 1,000 lives. This is very important, and this is the main advantage of CBDM, community-based disaster management, that it will not only save the financial losses, but also it will save thousands of lives because each and every individual will be aware of policies and the preparedness and mitigation measures, and they will help each other in any type of situation. Because its implementation is very important. See, you have many good policies, but if you are not able to implement it, then it is of no use. Implementation goes wrong, then that policy or practices has no value. The value we can measure when we have a very good implementation and we save lives. Saving a single life also make very big difference. Then you can say you are succeeded in it. The cost of prevention had to be paid in the present, whose returns can be recapped in future. Because implementing any policies or practices will cost you. It will cost you now in present, but in return you will get future benefits, such as you can take example of insurance policies, mediclaims, LICs. You have to pay presently, you have to invest in them presently, but any disaster or outbreak, you will get its benefits. Whatever we are investing now, it is for our betterment, or you can say betterment of your future. That's the reason we should act now, we should invest first, so that the impact, financial as well as social impact, will be reduced in pre-disaster phase. The benefits, however, are not tangible. Moreover, they are the disaster that did not happen. This means that it's a prepaid expense for an anticipated disaster. It is not necessary. If we are prepared for that particular disaster, that disaster has to take place. There are chances that that disaster will not take place or will not happen. Whatever we are doing, it's we are prepared for an anticipated disaster. तो वो ऐसा होता है ना, आज मैंने टिकट निकाला है लोकल ट्रेन का, तो आज मुझे टीसी ने पकड़ना चाहिए, और मैंने टाइम से happen ना. That means you are prepared कि आज टीसी पकड़ेगा मुझे एंड मेरे पास टिकट है. When we are not prepared, when we are traveling without ticket, we are hoping we should not get caught. In the same manner, always be prepared for any type of disaster, anticipated disasters. Don't think कि अगर मैंने इन्वेस्ट किया है तो वो डिजास्टर होना ही चाहिए और वी शुड गेट रिटर्न फ्रॉम इट, बिकॉज यू आर safeguarding yourself against that particular disaster. When we take health policy also, it is not necessary कि health policy है मेरे पास, medical policy है मेरे पास, मुझे कुछ होना ही चाहिए. It is not necessary. It's just we are prepared for a future disasters. If anything happens, then have the secure cover so that you will not get burdened in future. Don't think कि मैंने invest किया है कुछ disaster होना ही चाहिए. It is not necessary. पर उसका कॉस्ट फिर रिकवरी अलग होगा. You will get help, some of what amount you will get help, but then again you have to invest in it for reconstruction or rehabilitation or recovery of your health also. Never think in that negative manner. Okay, so now come to the important point, how this community based disaster management works. How we spread awareness of mitigation techniques on community level. What we can do, क्या क्या कर सकते हैं, and what are the different techniques available for. Will form another question. Like I have mentioned 6 points. We'll discuss each and every point one by one. First point is posters and videos. Now only आता वो कौन सा डे था, टीचर्स डे आई गेस ना, on टीचर्स डे celebration and engineers day celebration, sorry, you have made posters and videos, like you are given one theme, you have to make posters and videos and post on social platform. Same way for community-based disaster management, because each and every community has different beliefs. So you have to think according to them, and then you have to make some posters and videos. In that case, we have to take the help of locals only. Because बाहर के वालों को किसी को पता नहीं होगा कि what actual their mindset is. That's why we require local. In posters and leaflets on natural, technical, and man-made disasters and their impacts can be generated depending on availability of the genuine information, and the information shall be distributed or pull up on community notice boards which are easily accessible to all community members. For that reason, you will see in your society or community we have one whiteboard or blackboard near your entrance gate, or you have a WhatsApp group on which the continuous information is spreading. For example, today there will not be a water supply, or we'll have a water supply for half an hour only, no electricity, or any other such informations are circulated by providing proper information, that is true information, genuine information, by using notices, notice boards. You can take example of our institute also. Any notice regarding your fees or important dates of examinations, everything is displayed on notice board which is easily accessible to every member of that particular community. So the posters should be self-explanatory. And the videos on post-disaster shall also be broadcasted for communities to highlight important issues in preparation for or in response of disaster. Because visuals impact more. जितना तुम लोग लिखोगे या बताओगे, इससे विजुअल्स इम्पैक्ट मोर. जितना तुम लोग देखोगे, जो हम लोग देखते हैं, that will directly impact on your brain. That's the reason posters and videos plays very important role in spreading information among the community. And that's the reason मैंने बोला कि community में से ही we have to select someone who will good poster and video making so that they know their mindsets and they know what is the actual problem over there and we can tackle that particular problem. And that's the reason if you have seen we have many posters and paintings over here, bridges and on stations also. That's the reason it spreads a very good message from the visuals only, from the posters and videos. This is the one platform, or you can say one technique we are using for spreading awareness regarding preparedness and particular disaster. Second technique or way we have is these dramas at community theaters. Different but exciting method used in the disaster mitigation of information, that is through community theaters. The skill of theater group to perform disaster management awareness message is a medium which is very powerful. We have seen many of such plays uh, in competitions also. We have the theme, we have to perform on that. So, or any play has a particular theme or script, and you have to give a good message to it. Same manner, in community theaters also, we have such groups which perform for disaster management awareness messages. Our NSS team also perform street plays, give information, flash mobs, you can take example. So during various occasions, festivals, awareness through dramas, street plays can highlight the event with classical important message and cooperate to the social work. It looks and very beautiful and gives message to each and every individual from the community, every age group. Because drama can be understood by each and everyone. It gives information to each and every age group in the society as well. This is very highly effective means of creating awareness in society. As the many of people are literate in developing country and may not have access to newspapers and television. As we know, literacy rate is not that good. Each and everyone is not literate that they can read a newspaper or have the access to the televisions or social media. In that manner or in that case, it is very useful in creating awareness in society by going for street plays and dramas. Using theater as a medium to depict the actual problem that are affecting the people health sport across the point better. And disaster victims can give first-hand information about the kind of disaster their community is prone to. So in the street plays only, we can have one victims can give first-hand information, that is his own experience about the kind of disaster his community is likely to or prone to. When someone from that particular community come and share his own experience and thoughts, then and then only everyone take it seriously. We cannot trust outsiders so easily. How true information is spreading, but no one will trust it unless and until someone you trust or the one is from your neighborhood only come and give you that particular information. You won't trust anyone else. That's the reason it's a very effective tool that some disaster victims from your particular community only come and give first-hand information about the disaster. This not only entertains but also educate people about the happenings, and it makes people more aware and alert in terms of being prepared for any unforeseen disasters. It will entertain also at the same time. It will give us more helpful information and the happenings in your community, and that makes you aware and alert in terms of being prepared for any unforeseen disasters in future. एग्जाम्पल दे सकते हो क्या? कहीं पे तुम लोग ने अटेंड किया है एनी स्ट्रीट प्ले और सच ड्रामास इन थिएटर्स, और एग्जाम्पल ऑफ एनी सच ड्रामा जिसमें ऐसा कुछ मैसेजेस थे, or posters and video you have seen on social media because you are very active on social media. If you can give any examples of it. Okay. चलो यूज योर चैट बॉक्स. चैट बॉक्स में कुछ यूज नहीं किया. एग्जांपल्स दो. ऐसे कोई तुम लोग ने ड्रामा या थिएटर्स में देखे हैं और स्ट्रीट प्लेस यू हैव सीन posters or videos just spreading information about disaster in your community or your locality, और तुमने individually you have done any such or participated in any such dramas or street plays. Through college or through your school, society, NSS groups or any other NGOs. किया है किसी ने कुछ बताओ.
सर स्ट्रीट प्ले किया था.
हाँ स्ट्रीट प्ले किया है. इसके बारे में क्या था बताओ ना, थोड़ा इन्फॉर्मेशन दो. Which kind of
नर
street play?
फाउंडेशन में मैं नर फाउंडेशन का एक पार्ट था, मैं कांदीवली ब्रांच का.
हाँ.
तो उसमें हम लोग ने किया था सब क्लीनिंगनेस और उसके ऊपर.
क्या था उसका थीम, क्या था?
सर स्वच्छ भारत अभियान में हम लोग ने पार्ट लिया था तभी उसके अंदर था.
ओके. जेनिल ने भी किया स्ट्रीट प्ले on no to crackers. Very good, very good. हाँ तो these are very good messages you are spreading. Anyone else? posters बनाए रह गए बहुत जनों ने. इधर है नील, राहुल. लक्ष्मण शिंदे. वेरी गुड. साढ़े लावा साढ़े वो. यस. एनएसएस एक्टिविटीज हम लोग भी करते हैं ना, हमारे कॉलेज में भी किया था लास्ट ईयर. ट्री प्लांटेशन. वेरी गुड. एनी सच एक्टिविटी यू हैव पार्टिसिपेटेड वो तुम लोग को लिखना है. चलो करो फटाफट. क्या हो गया? एनी स्ट्रीट प्ले, ड्रामा, posters, videos you have made for spreading awareness. COVID-19 posters for wear of mask. Very good, Suraj. Out of 79 कितने participants हैं आज? Out of 76 सिर्फ 4 लोगों ने कुछ किया है, बाकी लोगों ने कुछ नहीं किया. Yes, Suvarna has involved in street play. Which type of street play it was? Suvarna under NSS, I guess. किया होगा. So we can see the ratio. 76 में से सिर्फ 5 लोगों ने पार्टिसिपेट किया है, बाकी लोगों ने अभी तक ऐसा कुछ नहीं किया. Very good, Sahil. Blood donation camps is also a very good message spreading. Very good. Beach cleanup, Dhruv. Very good. अगर नहीं भी किया है तो we should think and participate because जैसे अभी हम लोग पढ़ रहे हैं that is nothing but community based disaster management. तो community based तुम लोग जब तक involve नहीं होगे, you are not participating it, how will you improve your community? And then giving feedbacks and excuses and then blaming government or authorities is not the solution. We have to participate at each level. Very good. Chirag, very good. Feeding stray dogs and cats, very good. तो अगर तुम लोग ने कभी मतलब you are not part of any such activity, then please see that you only yourself and your friends should arrange some small type of activities at your community level and spread awareness regarding. You can now take a current example of COVID and spread awareness regarding it. Do something for your own community. BMC make posters for different types of disasters like diseases. Okay, Suraj. Yeah, government authorities and NGOs are doing their part. But I'm telling you, we should participate also in such activities or at your own level, we should start with doing something. जैसे अभी लॉकडाउन में बहुत सारे लोगों ने घर पे बैठ के पोस्टर्स बनाए, वीडियोस पोस्ट किए रिगार्डिंग हाउ टू यूज और हाउ टू डील विद करंट सिचुएशन. बहुत लोगों ने उनके खुद के एक्सपीरियंस शेयर किए बाय राइटिंग डाउन ब्लॉग्स, मेकिंग वीडियोस और पोस्टर्स. एनीथिंग you have done that, your experience you are sharing over here. So this is the small example of open platform of community based disaster management. In community based disaster management also same thing happened. There is an open platform, everyone had to come and share their experience. Abhi suppose some of one you have participated or you are the uh, victims of that particular disaster, but तुम लोग को अगर आगे आगे कुछ बोलना ही नहीं है तो no one can force you. So it is their own willing. They come and participate. Just you have to provide them a platform. You can come and participate and share your own thoughts and help others regarding that particular disaster. Anything to discuss? Otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow morning. Okay. Thank you. You all can leave.